Hello and welcome to this week's news from Power Engineering International. I'm Kelvin Ross. In this week's newscast we'll be looking at the impact of the UK's decision to leave the European Union. What effect will the Brexit vote have on Britain's coal, gas, nuclear and renewable industries? And what will be the impact on UK companies that trade in Europe and those European businesses that have assets in Britain? Europe's power sector players are taking stock after Britain voted to leave the European Union last week. The overwhelming mood among those we spoke to is one of uncertainty. While the greater impact of the Brexit vote on the wider European power industry is unclear, there's particular concern over what the Leave vote will mean for energy policy in the UK. Tony Ward, head of power and utilities at analysts EY, said that whatever government emerges in the aftermath of the Leave vote, it will need to clarify to investors its policies on a wide range of issues, including climate change, renewable energy, its technology preferences and state aid. He said that prior to the referendum, the UK had taken a lead in Europe on renewable and low-carbon policies, but the question now is whether that support will be withdrawn in favour of other, more conventional industries. Bloomberg Intelligence believes that the defensive nature of utilities may help them outperform other sectors in the wake of last week's Brexit vote. Elchin Mammadov, industry analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence, has examined the impact of the Leave decision. On foreign exchange and earnings, he said that the weak pound may boost earnings of UK utilities such as National Grid or Centrica, which have overseas operations, while hurting foreign players with significant UK exposure, such as Iberdrola, Dong Energy and RWE. Mammadov noted that executives at European energy firms have regretted the British people's decision to leave the EU, yet they say their companies remain committed to the UK. EDF is among those that said its strategy won't change, while RWE doesn't expect major UK trade hurdles. A weaker pound is seen as a major risk, but may be mitigated by the fact that Britain represents only a fraction of overall earnings for many international utilities, such as ENGIE, EDF and E.ON. But Mammadov did stress that Brexit raises the risk of further delay or even cancellation to EDF's Hinkley Point C nuclear project, amid uncertainty over the future of the British government and its energy policy. He added that this could also delay RWE and E.ON's planned sale of their 33% stakes in Urenco, where the UK government also holds the final 33% share. Following the Brexit vote, Jonathan Robinson, Principal Energy and Environment Consultant at Frost & Sullivan, anticipates stability in some areas but uncertainty in others. He said that historically, the energy sector is one where the EU has always struggled to find agreement, and member states have been given quite a lot of independence. Nuclear power and the use of coal in power generation are examples where member states have held radically different views. Frost & Sullivan anticipates little change in relation to the UK's pathway to cut coal from its energy mix. Robinson says the UK was already ahead of the rest of the EU on reducing its coal generation capacity and carbon emissions, with a commitment to close all coal plants by 2025, and there's no evidence to suggest that this will change. Equally, he says it will continue to stick with major carbon reduction initiatives, as this is one part of a global drive rather than an EU one. But on nuclear, and critically EDF's planned Hinkley Point C new reactor, Frost & Sullivan says that new nuclear power has faced repeated delays and the Brexit vote will not help this. Robinson added his voice to those with a warning regarding Hinkley Point, saying that EDF has been moving at a snail's pace anyway, but the Brexit could make the company re-examine the feasibility of the whole project. Frost & Sullivan expects Britain's smart meter rollout to continue as planned, and it does also not expect the UK's interconnection trades with France, Ireland and Belgium to be impacted by Brexit. However, in the longer term, Robinson said that we could see an increase in capital costs for power infrastructure because of increased financing costs, and added that all of this will depend on how well the UK can defend its reputation in the financial markets. That's all for this week. Don't forget you can catch up with our videos from all 3 days of last week's PowerGen Europe in Milan by visiting our homepage. Thanks for watching and we'll see you again soon.